Hey my loves, welcome back. Today I wanted to talk about something that can be quite challenging. It often comes up when we talk about consciously manifesting, whether it's your specific person, love, or anything else that's going on. If you're already on this journey and you have been consciously applying knowledge, techniques, and you're working through, embodying the best version of yourself, I want to talk about transcending circumstances, guys, because we've talked about in previous videos why circumstances don't matter. But if you've ever felt very stuck because you feel like you question your progress, or you look at your current reality and even sometimes things are popping up and they look the opposite of what you want, then this video is for you. I want to encourage you and let you know that what you think is not working is in fact absolutely working, and why you should never give your power away to the 3D or what things appear to look like or seem like or feel like. So I'm going to break this down for you guys, how to detach from your 3D circumstances and actually operate from a higher truth, so you can create your desires, or rather select them, because as we've talked about in other videos, your desire is already created from the moment you think it. And I just want to help you guys to empower you to deal with things as they pop up and understand that they're actually always working in your favor. And I want to help you actually continue and build the momentum that you've already been building and get your desires faster. Okay, so this applies to whatever you're manifesting, whether it's a specific person or a more preferable version of a specific person. For example, maybe you have seen some progress or some movement and then shit just goes sideways, or something unexpected pops up, or you may be feeling like you're not seeing movement and suddenly you get intrusive thoughts, or you spiral and you feel like you're in an unfavorable state and you feel like you've fallen back into regression. So let's talk about this, guys. Most people are only living at the 3D level of consciousness, so what their five senses tell them, what they can see, hear, touch, but really that's actually just not the truth of what is going on when it comes to reality and reality creation, guys. So let me just explain this to you. The version of the world that you are experiencing or feel that you are experiencing in any given moment is a reflection of, say, an identity or a state. So a certain perspective, and say anything, and we've talked about this on other videos, anything that you have experienced or are experiencing in your 3D reality is kind of just like a reflection of past thoughts and assumptions connected to a particular identity, okay? So unconscious fears, limiting beliefs, all of that being reflected back to you. Now, when you believe in your circumstances, you're actually just breathing more life into them. Now, sometimes what can happen is you're affirming, or you're making a decision to be a new version of self, and certain circumstances from time to time can pop up that may feel like you're derailed or may shock you or surprise you. For example, if you're manifesting a specific person and then suddenly 3P pops up, or you're manifesting a specific person and things are going really well and suddenly they turn around and tell you the opposite of what you want to hear. Let me just explain to you that that is not actually an indication that things are not working. Reality is never fixed, it's malleable. It's just a mirror that morphs based on who you're being in any given moment. Now, there's two reasons why things might seem like they're going in the wrong direction. One might be because you've just temporarily slipped back into a state. And the other may be that you're actually just going through some kind of a transition where everything is unfolding perfectly anyway, which, guys, I would encourage you to understand that regardless, your manifestation is perfect, so it is unfolding in your favor, but you may have not the perspective of it because your five senses and your logic cannot understand how maybe something that's popping up is in fact working in your favor rather than against you. For example, your specific person turning around and saying something unfavorable, 3P popping up, etc. So I encourage you that if you want to take control and actually continue to build the momentum and really be in your power, understand that every time you change your thoughts, your mood, your focus, or your inner narrative, you're actually just reselecting and reinforcing what you would like to experience. And even when certain circumstances are popping up, it does not in any way mean that your preferred experience is not unfolding and not being delivered to you. You are already in a new reality. You've already shifted timelines when you've chosen the identity, the version of you that's loved by your specific person, the version of you that has the commitment, the version of you where there is no 3P, etc. When things feel like they're kind of going sideways, it's actually just something that's going on, sometimes because there's like old thoughts and old assumptions and old beliefs that are just clearing out. And it's almost like there's a battle between the ego and, the new version of self, because your ego wants to keep you safe. So sometimes you could feel very triggered, or bits of an old story or old beliefs pop up, and it's more the way in which you're reacting or perceiving those things that's important than those actual circumstances. Okay, so you have to open the door and step into that version of yourself and persist in being that new version of yourself, knowing that everything is working in your favor, regardless of when things look kind of wacky or sideways. Your limited five senses cannot perceive how things are moving around. If you could remind yourself, for example, if something seems to be unraveling, well, actually, in fact, this is indication that my manifestation is working perfectly for me. You have no sense. Perhaps if there is a 3P, or someone has turned around and said something to you that seems the opposite, if you can stick to your new self and your new reality, your new identity, your new assumptions, your new thoughts that you're projecting outwards, you will see when you look back, when your manifestation materializes or flips, that everything that had happened before was exactly part of the unfolding to give you exactly what you wanted. Okay, so before you see anything change on the outside, you need to stick to your decision about what's true for you. And so you do not need to buy into the illusion of circumstances or how things appear. Things can appear one way, but your perception of them is coming down to who you're being. Okay, so you must stick to the identity of the person that has what you want, regardless, no matter what has happened before, no matter how things appear. You do not need to wait for the outside to show you what is true. You do not need to wait for the outside to show you proof. It's about you sticking to your decision. This is who I am. This is what is true for me. This is real. This is done. This is, guys, what detachment is. It's not about not being focused on your end or your desire and knowing that you're in that end. It's about detaching from the illusion or the idea that you're separate from what you actually desire, because what you desire desires you. It's already in existence. And things are unfolding. It's all just an unraveling, right? Your subconscious and your conscious are working together. So your focus is important. So through your awareness or your awareness of being, or the version of you that has what you want, you don't need to then flinch in the face of any circumstances or outer appearances. You are the one, in fact, that is selecting the experience that you desire, and you're allowing the outside to conform. So sometimes when things are unraveling, it's actually everything conforming, guys. And so don't buy into the illusion of what your five senses are picking up. So we've already talked about it before. You're not trying to create anything. You already are what you want to be, and you already have what you want. You have everything within you because you are infinite. You are just consciousness, and you are also only going to experience what you are aware of being, or who you're aware of being, or what you're aware of having. So awareness, guys, is key. If circumstances look kind of weird or sideways, then detach from them, and it's your level of awareness. How much are you buying into that illusion and that story versus the new identity and being aware of the preferred version of you and the preferred circumstances that will unfold for you? Okay, you're the consciousness behind the persona or character that you have been in the habit of playing or identifying as, and who has had certain experiences and a certain perspective from that particular persona. So even the feelings, the emotions, the thoughts and your moods, and then the circumstances, whilst I know that things can be very emotional for you, it's sort of part of one identity. So even the triggers and things that seem unpleasant, guys, allow those feelings and allow those triggers to come up if they're in connection, say, even to other people and circumstances, even a specific person. But let them fall away, okay? Understand that that's not necessarily the truth of who you are or who you are selecting now, guys. As you open your consciousness and your creative awareness, you're not that story. You're actually the author. So kind of recognize when things are popping up that, one, it's an indication that there's probably a breakthrough coming through right before you get your deliverance, or two, that it's just kind of old crappy thoughts and ideas and story that's just falling away as the new story unfolds, okay? Reacting, spiraling, or feeling helpless, well, that can be very hard, but it's actually a really beautiful moment, and it's your cue. So it just shows you that you've momentarily stepped into the state that's buying into an illusion, particularly if you really are spiraling and then suddenly going back into an old story and believing that this is fixed and that things are not changing. In fact, it's actually very much connected to you changing and shifting. It allows you to take a step back in moments like that and ask yourself, who am I aware of being right now? Awareness is power. So I would encourage you to take those moments and think to yourself, okay, that's the old me. If we're talking about it from an ego perspective, your ego wanting to keep you safe, wanting to take you back to old version of self who had a certain unpreferable story, and experiences connected to that story, and a perspective in connection to a situation, love, the way you see yourself in relation to love. And I would be gentle with yourself and remind yourself and that you are no longer that person. Thank your ego or your old self for trying to keep you safe, but say, this is no longer who I am. So we always talk about this, guys, on my channel, that this is a shift of identity. And the key here is for manifestation consciously, who are you being? And you get to decide who you are. And the outside will inevitably reflect who you are dominantly and what you believe to be true. And you get to decide what you believe to be true. The outside must inevitably show you what you believe to be true. So you do not need to accept anything as true in any moment. So if something pops up that's unfavorable, this is where we say, no, this is not my truth. Okay? And then we bring ourselves back and say, am I being the version of me who knows that I already have what I want, regardless of anything, regardless of appearances? Or am I being the version of me who's waiting, reacting, looking to circumstances, feeling like I've failed, feeling like nothing has changed? I think it's a beautiful moment when you can actually reselect new version of self and see that your assumptions and your behaviors and your reactivity to those situations and the outside are in fact different and indicative that you have transformed. So embodying the more preferable state and sticking to your decision, that's where the work is. And it doesn't have to be work, guys. Detaching from the circumstances is going to make this a lot more effortless, all right? This is how we create quantum leaps and shifts that are faster than what you would know. Knowing something intellectually is not the same as embodying it. So whilst you can read all about law of assumption, or you can watch lots of videos about law of assumption and manifesting SP, etc. It's really up to you to actually live in your end, okay? And this is where maybe it can feel a little difficult, or your logic mind, or like I said, your ego mind wants to kind of pull you back into what's familiar. But it is the knowing and the showing up for yourself and the commitment and dedication to yourself and your new identity, and knowing that your desire is already done and knowing that it's meant for you. That is the key to actually having your manifestation. You're quantum shifting and you will see your reality move fast and furiously. Okay, so embody that reality. Embody through your inner world, embody the state, the peace, the calm, the knowing that no matter what, your desire is yours. The outside has no choice but to catch up. The shift happens the moment you decide the I am. I am this now. I am the one that is love. Not that I will be, not that I hope so, not that I hope these circumstances change. It is not up to you to decide how the circumstances are unfolding, but it is up to you to choose a new state or identity and shift your awareness and your focus. So stop putting your manifestation on layaway. It's not, guys. It's there from the moment you've made a decision. Time is an illusion. It's already immediate from the moment that you have selected that experience, guys, and the unfolding is perfect. So remind yourself that, okay? Stick to your decision in being the version of you that has the person, the version of the person that you want, or whatever desire, because it already exists. It's actually waiting for you to step through the door, okay? So step into that version of you now. Stick to that decision. For those of you that have already made that decision and you've been doubting yourself or feeling wobbly, or you've been seeing some shit that looks a little bit wacky, or you've been getting some triggers, feel those triggers, recognize where they're coming from, but adopt some of the knowledge that I've given you in this video to understand what they really mean, okay? Let the old stories fall away. Say, this isn't me anymore. Say, I am safe. My world keeps me safe. I am in the reality where I get what I want no matter what, and really mean it, okay? Commit to yourself, because it's really always just you. You are the God of your reality, and when you command something, it must be. If you want love, then be the version of you who is loved. This applies to your specific person too. Don't try to change them. Don't respond to what's unpreferable. Take your awareness off it. Go back within and remind yourself who you are. Take back your power and assume, if it's, say, something that is particularly unfavorable, or they've said or done something, take back your power and say to yourself, nope, I don't accept that. That is not my truth. I am the creator of my reality. I'm the selector of my reality, and this is how it is. You're detaching from that version or that story, and they are your mirror, and your SP will mirror back to you what you consistently focus on, the dominant thoughts and assumptions you have about yourself, and what you assume that they think and feel about you, okay? So to become the person that your SP is obsessed with, then you need to remind yourself that you are that version, and that is it. And stick to your decision and stop identifying with the version of you that believed that they're not, or that you're not loved, or that you're not chosen. So guys, the final key, it's all about deciding, embodying, and reinforcing. Here's your real superpower, the decision. And we've talked about that before. It's the consistency of returning to that decision, even in the face of unpreferable circumstances, unexpected twists and turns. It's a choice that you're making that's quite firm from the deepest level of your beingness, your awareness, your consciousness. When you decide something and reinforce it in the face of the old story, that's when the magic happens. So actually trust that if you are facing something difficult, you're having a purge or some kind of unexpected triggering circumstance, see that actually as evidence that you are getting exactly what you want. You are releasing all your past limitations. You are releasing all of that fear and doubt that you are holding on to. That old version of you is dying away. So replace anything unpreferable with the reminder of the truth of who you are, who you've decided to be. Not because you're pretending, guys, but because you're remembering the truth. And the truth is that you are the version of you that you desire to be, and you have the version of a person that you desire, or anything that you desire. You receive what you are, not what you wish for, okay? And the good news then is you get to choose to be who you are in any moment. So right now, if you're ready to transcend any circumstances and become the version of you that already has it all, start today, not later, not when it feels more comfortable, okay? Push through any discomfort, push through any outer appearances, and stick to your decision. If it feels like fear, it's not the truth. Your world bends to who you are being, and the truth of who you are is actually consciousness, love, and you deserve to have exactly what you want. Now, if this video hit home, then please do like, give me a comment, hit me up if you have any questions, and you can also subscribe if you want more videos on manifestation, or if you want to watch some tarot where I help you break unconscious patterns to get more desired results in your love life or with your specific person, okay? In the meantime, guys, remember you are the operant power. You are the God of your reality. You can have, be, do anything, anyone, any of your desires, they're yours already. So I'll see you guys in the next one.